Hello, Disney friends. I'm Sam from Sam's Disney Diary. That is the blue-haired blogger himself, Greg from Fantasyland News. It is Wednesday, July the 9th, 2025. We got news. We got a huge show. Greg, what is happening this week at Walt Disney World?
You know, Sam, I probably should have wrote it down. And then I'm just like, oh, we were talking so much. I just did not write it down. But I kind of know it. You know what? Man, happy Halloween, my friend. Trick or treat.
Happy Halloween.
We are done this summer. We are on to, no, 4th of July's over. Welcome to Disney. We're at Halloween time, my friend. Not only that, but we're going to talk a whole lot about Christmas stuff. We got Disney Jollywood Nights. Mickey's Not So Scary. It's holidays everywhere around the resorts right now. We're going to talk about the closing of Liberty Square, Rivers of America, not Liberty Square, Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, the Liberty Belle. We were there on the last day. We're going to talk about Monsters, Inc. We're going to talk about all this other stuff. Sam, I forgot what else we're going to talk about.
There's
following you.
Lots going on this week at Walt Disney World.
All I know is we will end it with the Muppets, as we always do.
We always do. And a surprise that should have surprised no one. We'll touch on that in a minute. But look, the day after the 4th of July, all of the Christmas news drops. Come on. All that and more coming. Crazy. If you're listening to the podcast that say you so much, we will be right back with more. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. There's a lot going on this week, Greg. Let's start with
wait. Before we just go straight into the news, Sam, how was your July 4th, my friend?
Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you. And I should, last we spoke, you had big plans happening this weekend. And if anyone out there's following along at Fantasyland News on Instagram, you might have seen some of the things that happened in your trip. That was kind of cool. But the 4th of July was great, Greg. Thank you very much. Absolutely outstanding weather up here in Western Pennsylvania. Could not ask for anything better. Lily, I hope the weather was the same in Michigan and anyone else out there listening. It was a great weekend. It was rainy a little bit in Florida, but I mean, it is summertime.
Dude, it rains every day here, man. There's no rainy a little bit. You're just used to it by this point. Like it just every once in a while you get torrential floods and you get the arc out and then you go through Magic Kingdom and you're fine. It's great, man. It was a great
all dried
weekend.
Up.
And we spent a lot of time in the parks. We got fireworks. We got everything we needed out of July 4th. And then we woke up to Monday morning. It's Halloween, man.
Yeah, and all of the Christmas items drop, which we'll talk about a little later. Yeah. Remember, but we were waiting for that on 6/25, right? The halfway mark. We figured that's when it would all drop, but they waited.
Somebody's been waiting by his computer for a long time, just not leaving the house because he didn't want to miss the news and was like getting a little stir crazy. But we knew it wasn't happening this weekend, so I was like, went down to Fort Lauderdale. It was a nice 3.5 hour drive there, 3.5 hour drive back. Had a great time with Rory. Yeah, it was just a great weekend. All right, man. So what do we got this week, my friend?
So it was the 4th of July at Walt Disney World. You were back in time to participate in the last ride, the last adventure, Tom Sawyer Island and the Liberty Belle. We'll talk through that. But 4th of July, of course, fireworks on the 3rd and the 4th at Magic Kingdom. Absolutely wonderful. I think they still call it the Celebrate America fireworks, which was the name of the show
exactly
they had in the 80s on TV, which is kind of cool that they still keep that. And of course, outstanding as always. But Greg, you were all about the characters. So on the 4th of July, you were over at EPCOT in American Adventure and got some special characters over there for one day only, right?
Yeah, it was great. So we spent July 3rd, Magic Kingdom, July 4th between Epcot, Magic Kingdom. Had a great dinner over at Steakhouse 71 while it poured down rain on July 3rd. So we caught fireworks at the Contemporary, which, by the way, found out they pump the music downstairs into the courtyard. So they had a big private party going on. So we heard the music perfectly standing in the parking lot. And the view was spectacular, my friend. Like you get to that 360 view.
Yes,
is perfect in that section. And I think if I have to recommend to someone to see the fireworks from now on for 4th of July, Contemporary Courtyard, where the parking lot is pristine watching location.
So here's my question for you, because others have, hey, look, you can watch them here, and they pump the music in.
Yeah.
Sometimes they only pump the music in for those private parties, and you just happen to get lucky and be there when there was.
No. 4th of July is pumped into the Contemporary, and you get it from
July. This isn't an everyday thing. This was for 4th of July.
Oh, no, they pump it in for every fireworks show.
Okay.
So every evening you can watch the fireworks from Contemporary, and you can go in the courtyard or you can go upstairs to the 4th floor, but every room has a speaker, every balcony has a speaker, and you can hear it perfectly.
Awesome.
So, yeah, my recommendation, Contemporary from now on. July 4th, Epcot, early in the morning. Yeah, so Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Pluto, Chip and Dale are out in what they call Spirit of 76 outfits. And so they were, Wendy, how are you tonight? Welcome in. Thank you so much.
Hi, Wendy. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was Spirit of 76 outfits. Those guys are great. They're meeting and greeting underneath where KidCot is over in Epcot, by the restrooms in America.
In front of the restrooms, yeah.
Yeah,
and
they were there.
There's no Flower and Garden or Food and Wine booth there now. That's just
there's nothing right there. It's just
right. So there's lots of room. That's perfect for them for.
And they're under in the shade. So about half the time you're waiting in line, it's you're in shade. But I tell you what, if you're going to do this, you want a rope drop or you want to be there for early park entry, because by the time 9:15 hit, it was a 2.5 hour wait
to see these guys.
Yes, I mean, look, they're on once a year, of course, and the hype has gotten real dealing with these characters that are special like this.
So, question for you. You say be there for a rope drop. Are we talking park rope drop at American Adventure, or are we still holding back the crowds from World Showcase? Love it.
Yeah, you're penned in. And if you're, I went in the front entrance by Spaceship Earth, and they hold you right before you get to Connections and Creation Shop. So you have a hike, and you gotta be moving.
Could you go?
I was moving, man. I was moving as fast as my legs could take me.
I get it. So I'm asking because there used to be a time when you could only get to Norway and you could only get to France. The rest of it was closed until 11 a.m.
They hold you. No, you can get everywhere you want in before 11. You can walk the whole World Showcase at 9 a.m.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Nothing's open back there though, right?
Yeah, I mean, France is open.
Outside of France, right? Because they used to hold you up if the French bakery was open and Remy's open, and they would hold you before Morocco.
American Adventure's not running at that point. You don't. The smokehouse, Regal Eagle Smokehouse, isn't open. Germany's not open. I think the characters start around 10 a.m. if I'm correct.
Okay.
But
yeah, good to know.
It's good to know. It was great. These guys are out. They were out all day. They started 9 a.m. was their first, and I think they were out until like 6 p.m. or something like that. But it was a long day.
It was
and
it
then,
was
of
a
course,
long day for Spirit of 76 Mickey. No Minnie
and
Mouse.
it's great.
Mickey,
Like, look,
Goofy, Pluto.
if you can't wait in that line, you go into the back area and you can see them walk in and out all you want. Like, they're not going to stop and take photos with you, but you can walk in and out and they'll interact with you and you can get some good pictures that way.
Right. Minnie Mouse? No.
No Minnie Mouse. I miss, you know what I miss? It's like Minnie Mouse and Mickey together in their old timey
like
outfits.
the parade we watched last week. If
Right.
you haven't seen it,
Chip and Dale are out though, and they're they do their meet and greet in the American Gardens Theater. So that was cool seeing them too.
Is that also Spirit of 76 outfits? Do they have their hats on? What does Chip and Dale have?
Same thing.
Okay.
Same outfits. But now here's cool. So hold on, Sam. I have a question. We're both from the Northeast with a lot of Revolutionary War history. Why are my boys wearing red coats?
It's a great question.
Right?
They must
Shouldn't
look
be they wearing blue.
Yeah. They probably should be wearing blue, but yeah.
Yeah, I seem to remember, like, they're coming. The red coats are coming. Like, I don't know. Like, so my history got into my head a little bit.
If Disney's hearing you there, they might switch that up because it should be something different. But hey, it's the 4th of July. They're red, white, and blue. Sure.
See, Holly agrees. Like, Holly's right. Like, they should be wearing blue coats. They're
yes. I agree.
I agree. Continuity, man.
Yes.
Continuity.
All right. So 4th of July, lots of things happening. We covered that in the past. And of course, they had the special post Luminous, the Symphony of Us tag for the 4th of July, Celebrate America. I saw some images of that. It looked really cool.
It looked really cool. A lot of people there. It was a lot of people there.
I'm sure. Absolutely sure. All right. I'm celebrating. I love this image, Greg. The I'm celebrating buttons. I'm celebrating Tom Sawyer Island and the Liberty Square riverboats. Of course, 4th of July was on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was the last day for these two attractions. You, like Muppet Vision, who showed up and got your wristband first thing in the morning, there was something similar going on, even though we had speculated there wouldn't be wristbands. Tell me how that went.
Let me tell you a story, Sam.
Yes,
about how Greg broke his ankle. So we showed up early in the morning for rope drop, right? We rope drop, go over. We were hoping to see somebody with wristbands. I had written about this. We talked about this. I didn't think they were going to do this for Liberty Belle. Like, we knew it wasn't going to happen for Tom Sawyer Island because it's more about getting off the island. You can get on the island all day. You can't get off the island that quickly, though. For Liberty Belle, we asked around. We got in line for the first queue. We got in line for the thing. No one said anything. They didn't know anything about it. They were not saying anything about it. We got to ride it first thing in the morning at 9 a.m. As we rode it, we hopped off and we were like, hey, this is great. We had a great time. Let's go ride the railroad around Fantasyland because that's the final time we're going to get the railroad also.
That's right.
Which we'll talk about in a minute.
Tour is finished for now.
I'm going to, and Sam, literally, we're on the platform, stepping onto the railroad, onto the train car, onto the passenger car, and my phone rings, and a friend of mine from Goo to You, which I got to make sure I say hello to them because
they were here a couple weeks ago.
Matt and Goo, I'm going to say thank you to them. Call me and go, wristbands are secretly being given away. Get over here now. Ooh. At which point my foot that was up on the ledge to hop up on there makes a 360 or sorry, a full 180. I twist my ankle and fall down the stairs as I'm on the phone trying to tell. Look, we were there with Jeff and Denise from Mouse Steps, and those guys are great. We ran into Tom over there and we were all running at this point. And there's nothing like a bunch of middle-aged people running through Frontierland. So,
dude, you got to be careful on steps and twisting ankles.
And I went down. I just took myself out. I've been in a brace, not as bad as you. I mean, if it was you, you would be in the hospital.
Right. I'm glad that's not the case, but
I mean, I'm glad nobody broke a femur.
Maybe we can put a trailer behind my scooter.
Right. So,
We'll see how deep destination.
So here's how the wristband thing worked, right?
Okay. And by the way, nobody knew anything about this.
No announcement, no nothing. At Muppets 3D, there was a table set up and there were signs set up. It was like, hey, come get a wristband for the last showing. You'll be let in after the 10 o'clock final showing. And
it was even numbered, if I remember right. Your wristband had a number on it. Yes.
We got back to Liberty Square, and you know where Liberty Square Market is? On the side of Hall of Presidents,
right,
where Haunted Mansion stroller parking is. There's a little green door back there.
Okay.
Just simple little green. There's just 2 cast members just hanging around. Hanging around, and you had to walk up to them, and they would be like, "What's the passcode?" And you could say whatever you want, and they'd go, "There you go. Let me give you a bracelet for the last ride."
That's cool.
And then they would explain to you,
passcode, but
there was no passcode. It was just, but you had to know to go by the green door on this special time and find the 2 cast members who are just hanging out. Like that, you wouldn't know them. They just looked like normal cast members. They weren't dressed in anything special. They were just in cast member outfits. And so got over there, and they had a select number of bracelets available for the day. And then what they said was the last person to get in line at 8 p.m., they're going to get to ride it. And then they're going to clear the boat, and the people with the bracelets are going to be officially the last guest to ride the riverboat.
Okay. Wonderful. So, and you got one for yourself and one for Holly, and you guys were on that last boat.
We got a bunch of friends of ours were all with us and running around like crazy because, we all together. And so we got bracelets to come back at 8 p.m. that night and hop in line and be the last people to ride the riverboat, because the next morning it was gone, my friend. We'll talk about that in a minute, but
okay.
So we rode it in the morning, had a great time.
Rode it in the morning, and by the way, let's segue to you getting your pilot license for the Liberty Belle.
Yes,
which I don't know if everyone is.
Which, by the way, I found them, and there they are. Of course, my camera's not working. I'll adjust my camera and then put them back on in a second.
Okay,
but we got over at City Hall and at the Liberty Square.
City Hall.
At the Liberty Square ticketing office, you had to go in there and ask them specifically if they had any pilot's license left. Everything was so hush hush and like, don't say anything to anybody if you know about this. It was Disney magic.
You could get it for your kids. It was something that had been there for a while. It's almost like, it's cool.
Right. So there you go. There is our official. And you were only allowed one.
Well, you got one and Holly got one.
It was cool. One per family, but I had 2 people in my family. But there you go. That is the official last time you'll ever see those. Last time they'll be headed out. It's the Liberty Belle pilot. It took me 50 years to finally get mine. And then I got it on the last day. And I got it actually at like 7 p.m. at night because they were still doing that.
Oh, wow.
And so
that's great.
I got it just before the last run.
You brought back some images from the daytime run and the nighttime run.
Lots of images, because it was spectacular. And I can't wait to talk about the last ride. But let's talk about the beginning, the first ride of the morning, right? We've ridden this a billion times. Like, it's just one of those things like, I need time to go post for half an hour. What am I going to do? I will go sit on the Liberty Belle and I'll post while I'm doing some stuff. It'll waste my time. And so, we got to go on in the morning, and it was really cool because I wanted pictures. The really cool thing about this, again, was I put up a reel. It was something very special. It was at certain times, the Liberty Belle and the Walt Disney World Railroad will go around the bend at the exact same time.
Yes, happens a lot.
And one of them will do a few whistles. The other one will do a few whistles back. And then they will do Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or Mickey Mouse Club song together, where it's the MICKEYMOUSE.
Yeah.
And they will do it with their horns. Sam, that I think got me that day. It was just one of those. That's the last time.
That's not going to happen.
Hear that sound like that. I would hear that the Liberty Belle from across over to the TTC. Like, I knew I was at Magic Kingdom when I heard
Yes.
those whistles.
I was just editing my Country Bears video a month ago, and you could hear the Liberty Bell in the background while we're inside the Country Bears going through the queue. I'm like, wow, that thing
Yeah,
is
and
everywhere. It was everywhere.
so to me, being an audio guy, that was that's when it
Sure.
kind of got real. It was like, oh, I will never hear something that I've heard millions of times, and I've like some days you're just like whatever, but other days you're like that's awesome, and now it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
While you were riding, you were able to get some great images of Big Thunder and the construction process.
Yeah.
Progress, because we're not going to be able to get this vantage point, but there's a lot happening. We can see some in our images. We see some rock work that still needs to be painted, but clearly needed to be fixed up. We can see the, I don't know, what do you call it? It looks like the side of a TIE fighter, but it is what goes
It's a
in to make
push
sure
me,
people
pull
get
me cart,
push
what
me,
it does
pull
is
me. Okay.
it tests the clearance of
Yes.
your ride.
So that when arms are dangling and raised in the air, there's no chance anybody
Yep.
hits
And you can
something,
kind of see a black mark on one of the caves that they have to fix from that machine. So we're
yeah,
not
sure.
close. We're not as close as we thought.
Okay, they'll get it fixed. I will say the track in this image that is brand new, completely replaced.
Yeah.
If you remember, you had images of them taking the old track up, getting rid of it. This is brand new track. Looks phenomenal. I can't wait to ride this thing.
It looks great. Yeah. And just the whole attraction and the pieces that are done look phenomenal.
Yes, and Lily agrees with the Liberty Bell and the horn.
Yeah.
Now you guys also spend, if you want to do the 4th of July, right? It's kind of like Thanksgiving. Let's head over to the Diamond Horseshoe.
Yeah, if you're in Liberty Square, man, you might as well do Liberty Square stuff. So Diamond Horseshoe it is. Honestly, it's one of Holly and I's favorite meals at Walt Disney World. For the price and for the food you get, this is the place.
I eat too much personally when I go there because I care to enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
But, that's
I got my money's worth, believe me.
I get it. So this is, and we should say this, you were in the Diamond Horseshoe, but this is the food from Liberty Tree.
Everything but the salad.
Everything but the salad. That's interesting.
The salad is different. It's got craisins.
It is crazy. It's nuts. Is it better?
Yeah.
The salad?
It's craisins. Craisin.
Craisin.
Cranberry raisin.
Yeah.
It's much better, by the way. The salad
and the desserts are best on property. So I did save an image of dessert, which, Holly, sometimes I don't know if you took these pictures or if Greg did, but I want to make sure I give credit to the right person.
Because me. This is me. This is all me. Look, if she takes the picture, I'll give her credit, but it's me. Come on.
It's all good. You also have the player piano that is on stage inside the Diamond Horseshoe. Was there ever, and I should look this up because at Disneyland there is still a real piano player inside the Golden Horseshoe. I mean,
I think there is, yes, but not here at Disney World. Here. We get what used to be a pneumatic player piano is now an electronic player piano.
I wondered if there ever was in Disney World. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm going to research that later. And of course, the dessert.
Life is short, man. Eat the toffee.
Eat the toffee. All right, let's head over to Tom Sawyer Island. Although I don't think you actually made your way over there. You do have lots of
I like
images.
keeping all my limbs. I had already broken my foot once that day. I don't need to do it twice.
That's right. So some images of people loading up, maybe because this closes earlier in the day.
Yeah, this closed at 5 or 6 or
that's
5
normal.
or 6. Yep,
that's normal time for this.
Yeah. So that is
the rainbow
boat.
over.
Yep. So this was great. Like, I know you could actually go down on where the water was and get a view from across, and it was a double rainbow, right?
Yes.
It's Disney World. Getting a rainbow over Disney World is just awesome. But being able to get it on the last day of Tom Sawyer Island, it was just like somebody was saying something, and I don't know what it was, but it's just one of those cool things you see at Disney, especially this time of year. You will see rainbows all over the place.
Sure. Because it's raining somewhere in Florida.
Yeah.
So that's an image.
You can almost see it. There's a little double rainbow starting there. And it was just
a little
like,
one. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
kind of
it
see it a
was,
little bit.
and I was like, "Oh my gosh, give me my camera." I was running for that shot.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Another shot you got later in the day. This was the final boat of cast members headed over to the island. Is that right?
Yep. That is what they call the sweep team. They were going over to the island to do a final sweep. Way more cast members than you normally see, plus a lot of custodial members. They brought on a bunch of special staff to be the last people on there. We
Mhm.
got to see a bunch of the staff. They were able to goof around and, but not goof around. They were able to take pictures of their last time being at the island. So
Sure.
they got a lot of memories of. Look, some of these cast members have worked in that
Oh,
position
yeah,
for many years, so I'm sure it was
sure.
hard on them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No matter what's coming. Another image that you took that I love, which is the
Yep.
I'm celebrating with both Tom Sawyer Island and the Liberty Bell behind it. Wonderful. You also went back that evening and had some video that you took from your last ride. Tell us
This
about the
made it
last ride.
real, man. Like, this was, so we're on the last ride. You get on the boat, they cleared it. They brought us on the boat, and then they brought a whole bunch of again, like Tom Sawyer Island, a bunch of cast members, custodial staff, people who've worked on the Liberty Bell for many, many years. A lot of the heads of Disney were out there to ride it also. It was very cool, but it didn't really become something special until you were making your way around Rivers of America. And I have a shot of this where it's cut a little bit, and I cut out the slow parts. But as you would go across all of Frontierland, all the way from Haunted Mansion, all the way over to Big Thunder Mountain, and then past Big Thunder Mountain onto the railroad, there is nothing but guests and cast members from all of the places that are around Frontierland.
Sure.
So Pecos Bill cast members were out there. The new Hat Shop cast members were out there.
Right.
Splash Mountain cast members were out. I'm sorry. Tiana's Bayou cast members were out there. We passed by Tom Sawyer Island, and it was filled with cast members, and they were holding up a trophy, like bragging about it, which is the trophy that the cast members between Liberty Bell and Tom Sawyer Island would do a canoe race for charity once a year. And
Right.
this was their last victory ever on Rivers of America. And then, and it just made it real to
Yeah,
see.
that's kind
And
of
you
cool.
can see there is like 1,000 or more people lining this area. And it just gets deeper and thicker as you go across the bridge in front of Tiana's Bayou. That was packed 3 people deep and the whole way across. And it was just one of those, like, I'm glad I'm on the boat. I'm glad I got to see it from that direction. And it was
Sure.
it brought it all to be real. Like, look, we're all about going to the future and new things coming.
Right.
But there's something special about
Always
these
will be.
people will have a love for Liberty Bell or Tom Sawyer Island for the rest of their lives. So I understand why they're upset. I understand why they're there to say goodbye. It's a piece of their childhood. And they're not
And
wrong.
they're not wrong. The best I can say to that is the Mark Twain and the sailing ship Columbia and Tom Sawyer Island are still at Disneyland. So if they do mean that much, head over to Disneyland and check them out. It won't be the same. I agree with that. But this was interesting to watch. Greg, when it came back through when you unloaded, at that point, did the boat stay there for the rest of the evening? Is that where it was anchored?
So there's friends of ours were there for fireworks, and they watched the fireworks over top of the Liberty Bell. So they were
so the
able to
Liberty
go
Bell
over
was
to where
there.
Big Thunder, and it was lit up all night. And then the
I
next
can see that.
morning, it was gone.
It was gone the next
Just
morning. Well, it
gone.
was
And
repositioned to backstage is what it was.
right. But it's where backstage, I don't know, because normally where you could kind of see it backstage. I couldn't see, but
Well, you got to
it's
wonder.
back
We
there
can
somewhere.
speculate in a minute. I got some aerial images
Yeah.
that we can speculate as to where it is. And you do wonder where it's going to go. I mean, this is a floating vessel. Yes, it's attached to a track, but it is a vessel. I don't know if they can drive it. They drove it in there, if I remember right.
I don't know what I
When
don't know
they
how.
refurbished it
Yeah.
oh boy, I don't remember exactly. When they refurbished it, they drove it across Bay Lake and drove it back into where They park the
right, and nothing for nothing.
for
Most
water
people
pets.
don't realize that Rivers of America was completely drained in 2022, 2021.
Yes, not that
Like,
long
so
ago,
this
and
it
the
wasn't
boat
that
was
long
taken
ago.
out.
Yeah.
Right, the boat
So
was taken out. There were
this is
images of it
nothing new to
going back
them.
in.
Right.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
So there is an image of the boat. Another image you sent me, and it's a little blurry, but this is a pressed penny
Yeah.
it's a pressed penny of the Liberty Bell, and I don't know where this came from, or
I
that's
would say
awesome, dude.
press
Where's
penny
the
machine.
where's the pressed penny machine?
I
That's what I
think it's
don't
by
know.
Hall of Presidents.
Was.
What?
I'm gonna say this one's out of there. That was one of the big things of Muppet Vision. Everybody getting the pressed pennies on the last day, right?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realized it was there.
Yeah,
Just like not a lot of people realized they were handing out bracelets, and not a lot of people realized they were handing out pilot's license. Like, and I think Disney doing this one quietly was really smart of them. I don't know. Yeah,
they announced it. Hey, it's here. They knew they were going to get diehard fans to come and be the last one.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they also knew most of people don't care.
Like, but you weren't going to have a bunch of people holding hands singing "Old Man River."
No,
like it just wasn't going to happen. You were going to
no.
It wasn't Muppets. It was the Liberty Bell.
And the average fan is looking at the concept art going, get that thing out of there. I want to ride that.
Yeah, that's what your average fan is saying. And they're
exactly
right and wrong.
They're
so
right.
There you go. But either way, it's coming.
Let's go to the next day, because the segue from pennies is coins, because Disney's got a bunch of coins, and there is now a new coin machine, the golden coins.
Yeah.
At the Transportation and Ticket Center. Is that right?
Yeah, this is cool. I've never saw this before, and believe me, I take that walkway 3 times a week. And
they're 4 coins. These are the golden coins like they had for the 50th. In fact, it's probably one of the machines that was used for the 50th, but it is the ferry boat, the bus operations, the Walt Disney World monorail, and the parking operations, which is the parking tram. But there is a medallion for each of those transportation vehicles.
You would not believe how many people like collecting the transportation vehicles around Walt. And it's they like the die cast, they like the old Matchbox looking ones, like they're collectibles. So I thought this was cool to see that out there. And it's
where is the Skyliner?
So you have to be through security at the TTC. And then if you, as you come through security, if you make a hard right and head towards the restrooms on that side, on the monorail side, not the ferry boat side, the monorail side, it's right by the exit right there.
I see the ferry boats, of course. Generally, well, these are all of the transportation mechanisms that you could get there at the Transportation Ticket Center, which is why the Skyliner is not here, because there's no Skyliner there. But you can get a boat, you can get a monorail.
This is Magic Kingdom. Yeah, 7 Seas.
So I'm wondering where the Skyliner one is, Greg.
By the Skyliner?
I hope so. Keep an eye out for it. Let us know. Check back.
Yeah.
You spotted some construction. Well, you tell me, where were these images? This is a lot of construction.
So we are on the monorail. Right. We're on the monorail coming from the Grand Floridian, heading towards the Magic Kingdom. This is the driveway for boat ramp area for
that's the boat for the water pageant,
electric water pageant.
That's also the boat. That's what connects to the Rivers of America. That's where they can bring the riverboat out if they needed to. That right there.
Yes, and that's what I was trying to get a picture of. And then I turned my camera and went, "Oh, that's land. I have never seen land over there before.
No,
like,
not at all.
That was swampland. Like." And now it's just land
staging. So what I did, Greg, is I went out, did some research, and full credit to @BioReconstruct for the next image. This is an aerial view of the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. And it includes, the outline of what we know is going away. But up in the corner of this image, you can see some area that is starting to be dug up.
Yeah.
And if I go to the next image, that is all staging area for this construction that's going to be happening. So they are clearing a lot of land backstage behind Big Thunder, behind Tiana's Bayou Adventure,
Right,
that
and
is going to be
I
used.
think you're onto something there because I think you have another shot of it
I
just
do.
from over top.
Let's go. This is from straight down over the top, which is going to show you a little bit more here.
Right, so you see the construction on the right-hand side
Yeah,
there.
which is west in Disney
Yeah.
World. Yeah, we're kind of looking
You
the wrong
see a
way.
driveway that goes, through, which is the, uh, parade staging area, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the
Back
parade
in here.
zone. That's where all the
This is
parade
where
stuff
parades,
stays
and
at.
that's where they all start out this way, and we know the parade route from there.
Yep.
Yes.
Um,
Or they're not
so
gonna start this way, they're gonna end that way with the new parade, so they're gonna take them backstage for Starlight, and Starlight's gonna go the opposite direction. I don't know if you and I had talked about that before, Greg, but Starlight goes the opposite way. It's not gonna finish coming down Main Street, it's gonna start going down Main Street, and that's designed to help relieve some of the bottlenecks that happen after the parade, but
yeah,
we'll
I
talk
mean,
about that.
it's brilliant. I love that idea. Yeah,
We're only 10 days away,
so
by the way,
you
11
can
days away
see
from
where
Starlight.
yeah, and we'll talk Starlight about next week when that
Yep.
starts coming around about it playing on off nights when Mickey's Not So Scary's around, and then they announced it for the holidays. So we have dates of when it's going to
Yep.
be running
We'll
and
get
when it's
there.
not going to be running. So lots to talk about on Starlight in the next few days.
There's so much here that needs to be taken. All of this staging area, and
Yep.
you and I speculated you can fit Piston Peak in the area that is most of Tom Sawyer Island out to Big Thunder, and
Yeah.
then we don't exactly know where Villains Land
That's
is yet.
well,
It's
you're
the
looking at
big
Villains Land. You are over top of Villains Land right there.
right, just behind,
No.
sort of alongside and behind the Haunted Mansion
I
and
think you're going on
all
the
of it.
other side of the train tracks. You're looking at that area back
Yep.
there, where just to the north of it is, Big Thunder, and on the other side of the tracks, I think you're looking at all that area is now Villains Land, all the way to the backside of, Haunted Mansion.
Which, the train is in shuttle mode for years.
Yeah.
Something big is gonna be happening with this train track, so I don't know if they're gonna reroute it. I don't know if it's gonna be, tunnels, but yeah, there's something's gonna happen back here just behind the Rivers of America where the train goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be massive, like, that area, and again, Disney says is the largest expansion to a park that they've ever done, and they're right, it is a massive amount of space, and when you
Yeah,
you take the monorail over and you see how wide open that space is, you go, "Yeah, this is gonna be big,"
yeah.
because
Well,
look at how big,
New
Tomorrowland is.
Fantasyland. Well,
If you include Tomorrowland and you include all the way over to the Tron Light Cycle, which, by the way, happy anniversary, Tron, today, 42
oh,
years
wow.
ago.
How about that?
Um, but if you take all of Tomorrowland, you can almost
You
fit
can pick it up
Disney
and put it there.
Villains
Yeah.
Land into it.
You're right, and I mean, by comparison, there's a pretty good shot of New Tomorrow or New Fantasyland that was added, and at the
Yeah,
time, it was the biggest expansion, and
right.
clearly, you could put that twice in this area.
Yeah,
It's
that is a massive area. So,
it
yeah,
is.
Piston Peak, that's going all the way down to the back, under that white building, which is Haunted Mansion, and it's going to
Yep,
the end of Big Thunder, which is the brown to your right-hand
yep,
side. So
yep,
that's
right in
Piston
here.
Peak in that area, and then
Yep.
below that is gonna be Villains, and yeah, how much of
Below
that
and
water is gonna stay?
behind
How much of
and
the water is gonna be rerouted and go
I don't
around?
know.
What are they gonna do with that?
But this does show,
Yeah.
Greg, if this is the Liberty Bell, you can see the
Yep.
waterway, and that waterway follows that entire that entire river or passageway that
Yep.
includes where they park the water pageant, and that goes out to Bay Lake. So
Yeah.
it's all connected. It's the same water table.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'd love to see that float, and I'd love to see somebody with the images of that thing getting floated out and floated away.
Or they don't need to float it away. You leave it at the end of Big Thunder Mountain and you just let people take pictures with it,
Yeah, you could do that too, or you can turn
right?
it into a restaurant. No, it's
Or
not big enough for that.
yeah, it's not big enough for that. I mean, if
But it
or
is not
you have it
connected.
you park it somewhere and you're like, "Firework view."
Yep, there are 3 waterways in Walt Disney World that are not connected,
Yeah.
right? One of them is Magic Kingdom, one of them is Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and
Mhm.
the other one is Disney Springs that goes all the way down through, Riverside in Port Orleans. Those are the 3 different big waterways that don't connect to each other, but man, if you could get it into the Disney Springs water anyway. That's a speculation show. Let's get back to going into the park the day after and what was happening, because signs are gone overnight.
Yeah, signs are gone. And Sam, I brought this back just to show everybody.
What did you buy? Oh, yes. Hold on, because I have an image of that coming up, but this is the new map.
Yeah, that is the map.
I got an image coming in a second. It'll be a little clearer because
it is gone. Just gone. Like it's just gone. It does not exist anymore, people. That is history.
Let me bounce just a couple here, because these were the construction workers already taking stuff down, getting things out of there.
Oh, which, by the way, while you're looking, speaking of Starlight, it has now been added to the guide map.
Oh, there we go. Very nice.
Yeah, it's getting real, man.
What is on the cover of that guide map then?
That's little Sarah.
Okay. It's not
Sarah
it's a
Tinkerbell for a day and a princess.
I was expecting it to be Starlight, which it will be when that parade starts.
No, Sarah likes Tiana and the color green.
Sure.
She's from Indiana.
Sure. We have and that's
parents are MDs, really nice people.
Make believe. I like
they got us set up on the Gerber life insurance.
They're just taking things down constantly.
And
speaking of taking things down,
hear about little Sarah anymore?
Putting things up like walls. There's no
Frontierland, man.
Map. Where's the map?
Yeah. I don't know. It's gone. It's all gone. Like, and look, I make the joke, Waltierland, right? Everybody was like, it's Walcott, because people got, after 5 years of the walls, they were like, I'm sick of the walls. Now it's Waltierland. Because it's Frontierland and it's Walt Disney and it's Waltierland.
Sure. So we get an idea of what. Now, the walls don't go all the way around just yet, because clearly.
See, Holly knows Sarah. Nice little kid, man. She brought me a Mickey.
You're able to. I'm trying, Holly. I'm trying. One of the things this image is of a boat and an Imagineer at Tom Sawyer Island just hits you that it's an island. They need to take all the tools over there on a raft. It's an island. There's a lot of
It's an island, man. Remember the bear who swam across to the island?
He got over there somehow. Well,
he did. Kevin, man. That really guy was awesome.
Deep. Dude, it's not that deep. I think he just walked across.
I don't know. It's pretty deep, man. He is a bear. He was a good bear, too.
Here is your image of the map, one that's facing the right way.
I love being a bear.
Everybody
loves going to Tom Sawyer Island.
So a couple of things here that I want to point out on the map. So I'm going to keep going. One, the walkway that is the walkway or planks or boardwalk or whatever you want to call it that is off the trail in Frontierland is still there. So those aren't going anywhere.
Right.
And by the way, you need that when a parade's coming. You have to get around the parade. If you want to get back to Tiana or to Big Thunder, which is going to open in 6 months, you need to be able to get around it.
Yeah, so it's funny. You texted me the other day and were like, oh, you got to get a picture of this. And I was like, yeah, there's too many security guards around. Sam, and I'm not kidding. There was 2 security on that walkway on Tiana's bridge, right? That, and then you have the boardwalk that goes up there. There was 2 more securities on that boardwalk. And then 2 more security up by where Liberty Belle was. Like, there was more security in that area than I've ever seen. And I think it was because they want to make sure nobody's trying to steal anything.
Or take something from that's, that's exactly right.
But yeah, I've never seen, like, look at Disney World, you don't notice security unless you notice security. And
unless they want you to, let's be honest.
Yes. And they were very adamant of, we're walking a beat right now.
Yes, and that, there you go.
Of course, so Sarah didn't know what to do with herself.
Then the other thing I noticed here is, in addition to that boardwalk, the plaza or the entranceway, the building where you loaded onto the Liberty Belle, is still on the map.
It's still on the map.
And your images verify that the building is still there. They've taken all the signage down.
Yep.
And you and I speculated this is probably a good spot for a trick or treat, for one of the parties, a character.
Right. I remember meeting Tiana Naveen there during one of the Christmas parties. Like, this is going to be one of those type of meet and greet spots, I think, from now on.
I think so too. And we also noticed that this building is in the concept art for
Right.
Piston Peak. So it's going to get resurfaced and rethemed, but
Right.
this
And
is
now here's
gives them
here's
something for
why,
a year.
because I noticed it the other day. There's offices below it. Look, I don't know how the utilidors work, but I have a feeling that connects directly to utilidors.
I understand, and I didn't think about that because down below is and more construction walls in the next image. We've moved now closer to um, Liberty Square and the Haunted Mansion, so
Yes.
the walls are different color. They're not Frontierland. So this
Yeah.
is no longer Frontier walls or whatever you were calling it. This is something else. But
Waltierland.
yeah, not anymore. Now this is never mind. We're not talking about American walls. Donald. See what I did there?
Speaking of Donald, by the
Okay.
way, Donald been deported back to Mexico. He is
Stop.
back at the Mexico Pavilion.
He's back in Mexico.
Yes, he has been deported.
The walls are down and he's back. I need
Well,
images.
most
to
of the
prove it
walls
for
are
next
down. You got to leave some walls up, but
down under this this door, this sort of in the middle of nowhere, and everybody's seen this here before because there was a walkway, kind of steps that go down, and that was the expanded or extended queue for Haunted Mansion. They would use it for that when it's really, really busy around the holiday season. Clearly they can't, but it gets back to your point. There's something down there, and it might be part of utilidors.
Right, and then this was also the handicap mobile mobility scooters and
to get onto the Liberty Bell.
To get onto it. So that's the ramp that goes up and down. So that is the Monsters Inc. door.
Yes.
I am going there one day and going to put a flower on that door. A sticker. I wonder if that door
would be cool as if that door were incorporated into the Monsters Inc. coaster. That looks like that. Like that's
just a random door just like that.
Yeah, that and it looks like a construction wall door. That would be cool if it was in the coaster. Absolutely. If there's a Haunted Mansion and the walls go all the way along.
She's now on the map.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. And all of this, of course, these walls, everything here is to support Piston Peak, which is the new. Here we go. This is what it's going to be. I mean, that's all we got to go with.
You did what in the cup?
What do you do in the cup?
Piston Peak National Park, man. I'm
waiting for this to be on. You know what I'm waiting for, Greg? Just like they did at Muppets. I'm waiting to see the concept art that goes up on the walls, and then we can compare and contrast to see what.
Right. I'm looking forward to the same thing. I think it comes down to like, look, Monsters Inc. is going to be done much quicker than this. This is going to take a while. Speculation on the walls, like we're probably going to have walls up there for 4 or 5 years. It's just going to take time, and we're just going to have to deal with it, and that's okay. People won't even notice it anymore once it's up and going.
So you're basically saying we are going to get Tropical America's Animal Kingdom well before we get Piston Peak.
No.
Okay.
I'm not of all of that speculation. So Tropicals America is supposed to open 2027.
Yes.
I do.
So because when you look at this Piston Peak versus Villains Land, the way that this is structured, you could open Piston Peak and not have Villains Land open. I mean, this could be
correct. And that's what's going to happen. Piston Peak will open 2 or 3 years before Villains Land. And
that's unless Villains Land open. These are things we don't know. Maybe Villains Land opens in phases.
Oh no, Villains Land was been announced for after. That's the last thing they're doing.
Right, but we don't know if we're going to see a part of Villains Land open first and then a second phase. Kind of like, remember New Fantasyland opened without Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Right. You know what, Sam? I have a feeling all those answers will be done on August 29th and 28th and 29th of
I will be there.
Year. Yeah.
I will be there. That is Destination D23. We will be there. Stick with Greg and I.
We'll be both at Coronado if anybody wants to come hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. We should think about something like that. By the way, new Haunted Mansion merchandise. Don't look at the walls. Look at the new merchandise. Check all this stuff out. So you got these images this week, which, by the way, last week you speculated with the villain headband, right?
Yes.
And boom, the next day they drop all this new mansion merch, including the villain headbands.
Yep. It was so much stuff.
So let's go back an image here. We got new headbands, new shirts, looks like new nightgowns, socks, fanny packs. Do you get a fanny pack for yourself?
No, I got the dress.
Did you get the gargoyle water bottle? That's not bad. The gargoyle off of the stanchions.
No.
That's kind of cool.
Okay.
That's kind of cool. There's another one too. It looks like a plush. A couple of t-shirts.
Yep. I did like the t-shirts because they're embroidered.
Okay, very cool. I like this Hatbox Ghost t-shirt.
It is lenticulated. Cool. So if you move it, the Hatbox Ghost face shows up in his box.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I see a new Roosevelt.
Lenticular.
Yes. I see a new Roosevelt's, and I got to tell you, I don't really like it because it looks too cartoony for me.
That's Roosevelt's for you.
Well, but it's
and nothing against them. People love it. Like, man, they are selling like hotcakes.
Yeah,
not my thing.
You know, I have a lot of those, right? Shirts like that. One I'm wearing right now is a DVC edition, not Roosevelt's, but a Disney. That one to me, because the Haunted Mansion ghosts aren't cartoons, and they've turned them into that. If it was a cartoon, then cool, that's awesome. But I don't know.
I mean, look at some of the other merch. They're cartoony and other merch. Like you're trying to now. It's not so scary Halloween. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not so scary. Which you and I speculated. What about Villains Land? Will it be or won't it be? I don't know. What's Villains Land gonna look like for not so scary? Anyway, new Haunted Mansion merch, awesome. Another thing that reopened, the Astro Orbiter looks
certainly
great.
Did. It does.
Have you been able to ride? Have you tried to ride?
I will gladly keep my feet on the ground.
I've heard that it is much smoother.
I love it too. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to have to go up the elevator and all this.
Yeah, they did nothing to the elevator. From what I'm hearing, they did nothing to the elevator. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, the ride looks great though. I mean, I love fresh coat of paint and some oil.
Well, I think it's more than that, dude. I think they very well may have a new ride system under this that just looks like the old one. Like it's
I think you're absolutely right.
It's night and day over how it was. If you've been on there before, when you move the handle that goes up and down, it kind of takes a second and it jerks you.
I don't think I think that was run pneumatically. I don't think it's run pneumatically anymore.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So when you hit the button, it's instantaneous.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over to the railroad. We speculated, we talked about this. The Walt Disney World Railroad is now in shuttle mode, which means this is the Fantasyland station. It's going to go from Fantasyland to Main Street USA. Then it is going to travel in reverse from Main Street USA back to
It just backed up. Yep, that's what it does.
And forth. And this is not what I expected for the configuration of the seating. In this image, we can see that half the car is facing forward, half the car is facing the other direction.
Yes.
That's not what I expected at all.
No, me neither. But I will tell you this. They do have new audio on the way from Fantasyland to Main Street. And then if you are traveling from Main Street over to Fantasyland, you get visited by a certain blue alien who takes over.
That darn alien is everywhere. Shouldn't he go make a movie, dude? Get out of the parks.
I think he has.
All right, so
3 times.
Interesting. I can't wait. You were one of the last full circles, and it will be years before we do that again.
I think that's the one that I was bothered by the most. Like, and that's my history at Walt Disney World revolves around that railroad. And
look, I've said many times that, and it's interesting, Greg, because right now Disneyland, which by the way, next week we're right at the 70th anniversary, they're posting some things at Disney Parks blog about Walt's influence in the park.
Yeah,
I've always
great.
said the park, it's his train set.
Yeah.
That's what Disneyland was. He had a mobile train set, and every year as a kid, I would move things around and change things. That's what Disneyland is to Walt. It was his life-size train set with all of his different things inside of it. And that's still what
does this work? This works great. If you, it's a fun ride, man.
Did you ride?
Oh yeah.
Are they
both
forcing everybody
directions.
off when you get, or can you ride and
No, no,
come
you
back?
can stay on. You can
Okay, that's what I was
they're not kicking
wondering if
anybody
they were.
off. And I mean, look, it's also going to be half full now. It's not doing a full trip around. You're not going
Well, you're not
Fantasyland to
jumping on to go
Frontierland.
to you're
Yeah.
not jumping on to go to Frontierland.
We had originally speculated it was going to go all the way to Frontierland and then back up, but no, that is closed off.
You mean the forward to go from yeah, I kind of agree, but then when you see that overhead view of the staging area,
Right.
who knows what the heck they're doing back there.
It's massive. It's just massive. So it's taken over Magic Kingdom. We got a few years, folks.
And they
And
just
it's fine.
redid that train station was just redone with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I mean, it was closed, it was redone, it was
Yep.
okay. All right,
Yup.
let's head back to because I was poking around over at Bio Reconstruct, and he's got all the good photos taken recently from helicopters and airplanes or whatever the heck he's doing. But I wanted to grab this image. This is the parking lot at Hollywood Studios, just outside of Muppet Vision. You can see Kermit on Studio One, the store there, and this is the outline of well, Pizza Rizzo's in here, and then you have Mama Melrose. But the size and the scope of what is blocked off in the parking lot for construction of the Monsters coaster is enormous, Greg. It's huge.
Right. For example, that white building is Rise of the Resistance.
Yes. Yes, this building is Rise. Absolutely.
So imagine how big that roller coaster is going to be compared to Rise of the Resistance. Like, and you just go, oh, that's massive. So
yes, here's another.
I mean, look,
view
you can fit two or three Rise of the Resistance in there.
Yeah, and when I look at the image from this angle, and by the way, I do have it so we can zoom in a little bit to kind of get a feel for it. But there's Muppet Vision. There's the Piggy Fountain used to be right there, but you can see straight down into where this new thing's going to go. But one of the things I look at here, Greg, and there's been so much speculation for years about Indiana Jones is going away and there's going to be something new in this back spot. But when you take out this parking lot for Monsters, okay, you have a little bit of parking lot left to the left of this, which could easily be your next Galaxy's Edge something or other. And then you have all of this space where Indy Jones is, and even behind it, all they need to do is build a parking garage, and they have room to expand studios tremendously. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, look, that parking you see off to the left-hand side, that's going to be Imagineering parking over at Galaxy's Edge. Or, sorry,
is that what this
Star Cruiser. That's going to be for Star
Cruiser is well, and you know what? If Star Cruiser isn't coming back, they can put a parking lot over there, right? It never had a parking lot because
no. The Star Cruiser is the new Walt Disney Imagineering offices for that area.
Yes, and what I'm saying is you can put a parking lot over there and reclaim this space for expansion to studios. That's not a big deal.
I don't know. I mean, you could
5 years out. Look, someone has a map, and in that map, Monsters Inc. is in the middle of a whole bunch of other construction that we don't know about yet.
Yeah. So
that's what
look, there's a lot of space for this park. A lot of space. This park is a lot to grow. That's why you'll never see a fifth park. You will never see a fifth park. They have so much space to build out all of these places. So fill up what you got.
All right. In the news.
Yeah, because we're running out of time.
We are. We only have a couple of. We'll go through them quickly. In the news, it's a Small World. What's happening?
Small World. The last verse.
There you go. We knew it was coming to Disneyland, but they dropped some new news.
Right. And I could, they made it sound like they told us it was coming to Disney World. I looked back. They once said it was coming to Disney World. So coming to Disney World, July 17th will be the last
on the 70th. Yep.
Which is also Disneyland's 70th anniversary. So it's coming to Disneyland, Walt Disney World. Richard Sermon wrote the last verse to It's a Small World After All, presented to Bob Iger and to Walt Disney, the company. It's an emotional thing. Go watch that. It's on Disney Plus right now. If that doesn't give you a little bit of hope and a tear in your eye, I don't know what will, but it's going to be a great day to see that. I have deep dove the last verse probably 5 or 6 times in articles. So you can go and read all about that if you want. But yeah, that's a quick July 17th, baby.
We're getting it in the entire attraction or just in the last scene?
So it says it's part of the last scene originally. I don't know how they're doing it in Disney World. We'll find out.
No, we'll find out. So we're
I
going to
will
know
be there
week.
day one. Yeah,
Absolutely. Cool.
Right?
And in other news, all of the holiday details dropped. Happy holidays 2025.
There's so much holiday stuff. Where do you want to start?
Yes, and yes, absolutely, Lily. So happy about it. It's coming. Let's start with Festival Holidays at EPCOT. That was the first news that dropped November the 28th to December 30th. If the artwork they're giving us is any idea of the concept art, that's kind of cool. Figment's got his holiday sweater on. So does Minnie and Mickey.
It's
so expect
Festival
that
of
thing
the
to be selling
Holidays.
again. It's Festival
Right.
Holidays. Starts
and
right
it's always
after.
phenomenal. It's wonderful. It's one of the best experiences.
It is great. Yeah, love it. So many things. We will detail that on a future show. Jollywood
Cookies.
Nights, we have dates.
We have dates, and this is the big one. So I speculated on the date. I missed it by one day. I didn't have December 22nd on there. I had it to the 20th. So they dropped a date in November. It wasn't the 12th. They got rid of one day in November, but added a day in December. So it's the same amount of days. Coming back. And again, prices are going to be $149 to $189. Well, actually, probably $199.
It's $199, but with a DVC or an annual pass, you can get $10 off.
Right.
That's exactly it. So Jollywood Nights, coming back to Hollywood
this
Studios.
Is absolutely. I will, no matter what, whether it's media, whether I buy a ticket, will be there day one because it is my favorite party at Disney World right now.
Absolutely. Also coming back, of course, the 2025 version of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
love the artwork this year.
Yes, some Mickey Mouse leading a band with a drum and a couple of soldiers behind him. That's the best on Main Street.
Fine by me, man.
It's the best.
Great. Again,
and
there's the dates.
Here's the dates for both Mickey's Very Merry and Jollywood Nights. I think most importantly, Greg, is when you can start to book these. Because if you look at those dates, it's very easy to get there for a weekend, and you could do November the 7th and 8th and get both of these parties. Or, for example, do Jollywood Nights on the 15th of November and do Mickey's Very Merry on the day before that or after that.
And that's exactly what we're doing. We are doing the 7th and the 8th, my friends.
And that's what I would expect. And by the way, if you're going to have fun, the 7th and the 8th, that's when all the media people show up and they try to take pictures and jump in front of you. Go to the 14th and the 15th or the 15th.
And it's cheaper normally the next night.
Yes.
But not only that, but again, Mickey's Very Merry, the price went up by $10. $229 is the max one, I think it is. It's great. Everything's announced. At Jollywood Nights, they did announce Disney Villains will be open, along with the other new show, Little Mermaid. They'll be open during the party. There's also a few new characters that are going to be hanging around and dancing with people. Mickey's Very Merry, they did announce that the parade, the normal parade will happen. Disney Starlight will not happen on extra ticketed event on party nights, but it'll still happen on off nights.
So that is true for both Mickey's Very Merry and the Not So Scary.
Yep.
That statement.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I noticed in Jollywood Nights, I got excited because one of the Sunset Showcase projections that are on Tower of Terror was a Muppets theme that was happening. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is new. But you corrected me right away and said, that's not new. That's been there for a while.
Yeah, it's been there for a little while.
Okay, but still, I can get some Muppets over there on. And by the way, it also lists Rock and Roller Coaster as being open during Jollywood Nights. So
look, I mean, nothing for nothing. By that point, I've had a adult beverage or two and don't pay attention too much.
I get it.
Love that party.
All right, speaking of Muppets, that was my segue to get to, and we should have seen this coming, and I understand Holly saw it coming and called this. These Muppet magnets for the 70th anniversary of the Muppets come out every Friday. Right? Every Friday, they drop a new one on Instagram, Instagram.com/the Muppets. That's where you find them.
46 weeks.
46 weeks. And the last Friday was the 4th of July. Who is it going to be on the 4th of July? Of course, it's Sam the Eagle. I love it.
A salute to all magnets.
But mostly Sam the Eagle.
Sam the Eagle.
But mostly Sam the Eagle. So scratch him off of my list of upcomers. Sam the Eagle is number 46 out of 70. I think that's awesome. It's great. 4th of July, of course.
Of course.
Holly gets a prize for that.
Yeah, she was saying it for like, well, she's going to be Sam the Eagle. I was like, oh, and
Rory called it.
yeah.
I believe that. I do.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely.
So here's what's cool about this. We are at 46 weeks. We got 26 weeks to go, Sam. Are we going to do 26 more weeks, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I have every single one of them.
You do, and proof to the latest two.
Yeah.
Which you picked up in your adventures, which, by the way, to remind everybody, you can get these in 2 places. One is 2 places. Where are they?
They are Tomorrowland at the Launch Depot, at the Maid Kiosk, or Marketplace Co-op at Disney Springs.
That's the only 2 places that you can get these magnets.
And then in Disneyland, they have 3 spots in Disneyland. I can't tell you what their names are.
Oh, I wasn't sure that they were in Disneyland. That's great.
Yeah.
So I will say that my list of up-and-comers is getting low, but I'm still worried about Clifford, Emily Bear, and Uncle Deadly.
Yeah, and I still want Muppaphone.
And you want Muppaphone.
By the way, I was looking at the magnets earlier. You know what I noticed? Kermit the Frog is the only one in his full color.
You're right. He's in his full. You're right. You're absolutely right. In the green and the green.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Wow.
Where's lips? Cool. Lips. Yeah.
Yeah, we need lips.
Versus, I think Clifford should be there instead of lips. Lips was replaced with Clifford, but that's a whole nother story. Uncle Deadly, Emily Bear. The other ones are going to be there. Statler and Wardorf are going to show up. Gonzo's going to show up. Miss Piggy's going to show up.
You're going to get that. So I mean, you're getting down to the main stars, and I need Muppaphone. Look, if you're doing random Muppets, I need Muppaphone, my friend.
I agree. You got Joe.
I'm going to start a petition.
I think we should make T-shirts.
Me and little Sarah are going to go and get some people and her parents from Indiana. We're all going to get together and do a Kumbaya sit-in.
Thank everyone for joining us. There's the image last week that I said was Greg's, but turns out it was Holly's. Holly, thank you. I love this view.
When did this show become about Holly? This isn't about Holly. This is about Greg.
I'm just
this is about us. This is about little Sarah. Poor little Sarah, who got dressed in her Tinkerbell Tiana outfit, had to come in from Indiana to take a picture for the cover of this, and nobody's going to care who this little girl is. On that note, Sam, I'll say thank you, everybody, and I'll do the exit. Everybody, you can get Sam, as always, at samsdisneydiary.com or Sam's Disney Daily on Instagram. You can also, if you're watching on Sam's Disney Diary here on YouTube, thank you so much. You can give me a Fantasyland News on the web, Fantasyland News blog on Instagram, or if you're watching on YouTube, Fantasyland News, thank you so much. And I'll just say, end of line.
Congaloosh. We'll see you next week, July the 16th, 2025. Same time, 9 o'clock on all those stations. We'll see you.